People who listen to this show are aspiring creators, whether that be, making podcasts, writing, illustrators, design, entrepreneurs. Maybe as a last thing to take us out, what's a piece of advice? Maybe it could be around thinking, maybe it could be around creative work. What's something you'd leave somebody with to pursue?
Possibly it's designed for a narrower set.
Mm,
So quite a lot of innovation is driven by people first developing things for the disabled
mm,
and then discovering that what is particularly useful and valuable to the disabled is also valuable to other people.
hmm,
Okay. That's true of the example I always give is, door handles. Okay. So door handles are mandated, I think, on many public buildings because if you've lost the use of your hands, if you have rheumatoid
mm,
arthritis, you can always escape from a fire with a door handle using an elbow or, you know, part of your arm, whereas a door knob could present an absolutely impossible opportunity.
right.
But then he realized that people who are carrying 2 mugs of coffee have also lost the use of their hands.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so actually, we had a very great amount of UX success in, I think it was a parking app. And we said, actually, the if you design for the disabled in a parking app, it's very good because most people use a parking app when they're walking away from their car
Right.
and therefore they're moving. They're walking towards a railway station or a shop or wherever it is they've paid to park. Therefore, fat finger design makes sense for everybody, not just people who have some particular impairment.
Yeah.
And so actually designing for extremes can be surprisingly successful. The other thing is, other things would be the opposite of a good idea is often a very good idea. And I think one of the things we have done is we've over optimized the world for youth. I think
Mm,
there's an opportunity to actually choose an older target audience and look
mm,
for them because the world has been insanely over optimized towards youth.
hmm,
I think we generally have over optimized businesses towards automation
mm,
and cost saving. And I think there will be scope in the future for businesses which actually offer, as an alternative, a very high level of personal service.
mm,
Because I think we've moved everything online in extreme cases, which really annoys me. Companies like Deliveroo making it app only. There isn't even a flaming website.
hmm.
Well, fuck's sake, I'm at home,
Right.
right? I've got a 55-inch monitor, right?
Right.
Which is the perfect way in which to order a meal. Why are you making me order this on a phone?
Right. Right.
And actually, I think I also think that there are areas where there is bizarrely little innovation in proportion to the time spent, which I include things like email. I
Mm,
think there's complete scope to reinvent email,
yeah.
for example.
Yeah.
I think look for things too which have if your idea is just boringly sensible and logical, my suspicion is it won't actually catch in the human brain all that well. Build in a bit of incongruity, a bit of counterintuitiveness,
Mm,
a little bit of oddity.
mm,
I'm always very fond. There's a chain in Ocean City, Maryland, which only sells French fries and occasionally a little bit of let me work out. It's called Thrashers, I think it is actually,
mhm.
and it's I think they've got 3 outlets in Ocean City, Maryland, and they've adopted a very odd policy where they won't serve ketchup. Now that's not so weird in the United Kingdom. In the US, it's weird. They will
Yeah.
only serve the fries with vinegar,
Okay.
and that's how they do it.
Yeah.
I think the other thing you can do is I think most people, and there's a recent Roger L. Martin post about this, which is very interesting, which is most people, and particularly people with a kind of engineering or financial or deterministic mindset, most people are very uncomfortable with metaphor.
Mm,
And as a result, what they're very bad at doing is generalizing a finding in one area and transferring it to somewhere
mm,
else. Okay.
yeah.
And I think what behavioral science allows you to do is by codifying findings about human instinct and behavior and preference
Mm,
and happiness,
yeah.
by uncovering, sometimes accidentally through a kind of Darwinian winnowing process, by uncovering what it is that works well in the business world, and by being able to codify that, you could then replicate it somewhere else. Now, let's
Mm,
take Five Guys, for
mm,
instance. I think, I'm not absolutely sure, but Five Guys is very interesting because no one would have thought you could charge $10 for a burger in an environment which is no more exotic than a branch of McDonald's. If
right.
anything, it's slightly more rudimentary a setting than a McDonald's
Mm,
is. If you delve a bit deeper, the burger and the shake, the two signature items, are the only things that are expensive. You get free drinks refills. You get an extra scoop of fries for free with your fries. You get free peanuts. All the toppings on the burger entirely free, regardless of how many of them you want.
Right.
Okay. Now, I would argue there's something interesting going on there, which you can learn from, which is if you have a hero product, you can charge massively in an area where people think money makes a real difference, where there's a real quality
Yeah.
opportunity, provided you're remarkably ungreedy everywhere else.
Hmm.
And I've had the thesis that in the UK, you could open a place called Bacon Sandwich or Bacon Roll, which only sold bacon rolls. You know, you could have, you know, a couple of accompaniments.
Mhm.
You would have a weird rule like, you know, brown sauce is free, but if you want ketchup, you've got to pay 20p for it,
Mhm.
just to give the thing a little bit of mental purple cowness, as Seth Godin would call
Mhm.
it. And, you know, you'd only have two drinks, which would be strong tea and champagne would be the only two drinks you'd be allowed. You know, you'd have a certain number, but you could then charge £9 for a really, really good bacon roll.
Right. Right. Oh, that's smart.
And I think, you know, I think, you know, quite often very clever things are uncovered almost by accident. They tend to survive, which is a clue to their success.
Hmm.